So you're trying to get close-up photographs, but you don't have a macro lens? Well, I've got the perfect hack for you. What's up, photography world? Joshua Grasso here from theshutterschool.com, and today I've got a little macro lens hack for you. And it's not really a macro lens hack, it's a don't have a macro lens hack. When I first started photography for fun, I used to do a lot of macro photography because it's kind of cool to get like close-up photos of bugs and insects, all sorts of cool stuff. And then when I got serious about weddings and portraits, I stopped kind of doing that kind of stuff. But one cool macro shot that I always try to get at every wedding is a close-up of the rings. And when I switched camera systems, it was hard for me to justify a new macro lens just for one shot at every wedding. So fortunately, a quick hack for you is to get what are called extension tubes. So I have the two extension tubes that I use right here. They are by Mikey or Mike. Not sure exactly how you would say it. And if you look on B&H, you can get the extension tubes for about 40 bucks for Canon or Nikon. I don't see Sony ones for them currently on B&H, but I did buy these, I think, on Amazon maybe originally. So I'm sure you could try other brands. Because the good news is they're not super technological. It's just a piece of metal that gives you space between the lens and the sensor. So why would you want to do that? What that does, by moving the lens away from the camera sensor, you actually change the minimum focus distance. The minimum focus distance is just how close you need your lens to be before it'll achieve focus. So most lenses, once you get too close, they stop focusing, right? And that prevents you from getting really cool close-ups with most lenses. By using this extension tubes and moving the lens away from the camera a little bit, then all of a sudden you can get your camera body, your camera lens much closer to the subject you're taking a picture of. And what that does is it ends up amplifying or magnifying the image rather. So how much extension do you need? Really, there's a quick formula. If you divide the millimeter of the extension, so I have stack 10 and 16 that I use, so that's 26. And then you divide that by the focal length of your lens, that will get you your magnification factor. So I typically throw the extension tubes on either a 35 millimeter or maybe even a 24-70. So if it was a 30 millimeter lens, I'd get like a 0.75 magnification factor when I divided the 26 by 35. So the 26 extension divided by 35 millimeters of the lens, it's magnifying the image by 0.75 times. And then it also allows me to get super close to the image. So here's an example of a shot at a recent wedding that I took for the bride, just a quick ring shot where I wanted to get nice, cool, super close up. So the quick setup for you, as you can see, my extension tubes attached to my little nifty 35 millimeter attached to my Sony a7 III. I've turned my 35 millimeter into a macro lens for 40 bucks instead of spending $800, $1,000, whatever they are, on a new macro lens. So I did that, and then here's the setup. You've got this little black dimpled metal table, which I thought would come up with a cool reflection. And then I'm having my assistant holding a video light off to the side so that it's going to illuminate the rings and allow it to get a little bit of a sparkle. And then here is the kind of through the camera view of what I'm seeing, and gives you my settings. You notice I have 1/100th of a second ISO 3200 because this is going to be a little bit dark. If I wanted to get a lower ISO, then I'm going to want to make sure that video light is much closer, but I wanted it to be a little more subtle than that. And you'll notice, okay, I've got f7.1, but I've got a super blurry image. So one of the things that a macro lens or extension tubes are going to do is that depth of field is just going to collapse like crazy. So notice how the bottom of the ring, like the guy's ring, is actually blurry. Usually I want everything in focus, but I kind of, for this shot, thought it looked cool getting the swirly bokeh in the background. But I had to get to f7.1 just to get this much in focus. So that is one caveat when you use a macro lens or extension tubes. It's going to lower your depth of field so much that you need to stop down, which is going to darken your image. So even though it's a bright scene, I'm at 3200 ISO. Sometimes I'll use a flash to really give me some more light if I need it to make the shot work. But real simple, you throw the extension tube on your flash, make sure you have some light. If you don't have a video light with you and you just want a little extra boost, you could do your flash on your camera, phone. And take a couple more examples of shots I've done using this macro technique. I like to put the rings on something reflective, shiny table, put them in some flowers like the bride's bouquet, maybe find something shiny and sparkly, and then the super close up, as you can see here, like the ring is in focus, and there's this thin layer of focus right here, and then the rest becomes super bokeh-licious. So the macro lens is a really cool effect. If you don't have a macro lens, buy an extension tube and you can get really cool close-up images of rings for weddings or any other macro objects that you want to get. If you want to do close-ups of bugs like I used to, and you don't want to buy a macro lens, get an extension tube. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you can get more educational photography content. The more likes I get, the more videos I want to make. So I appreciate everybody who's been checking me out so far while I'm a small channel, and I can't wait for a couple years from now where I'm hitting the big time and making videos every day. All right, so thanks so much. Get out there and shoot. See you in the next video.